Sorry about that. Is the mic on now? Hello everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from stampyourartout.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Andover, Minnesota in the US, and I'm here to bring you a live paper crafting class. This class is actually a part 2 of 2 classes. We are continuing on with our Hexagon platform pop-up cards that we started last week, and we shared on the blog, because I always have a blog post connected to my video. We shared on the blog the information for the cows, the Cutest cows version of this Hexagon platform pop-up card. Currently, in the description of my YouTube video, the live right now, you can click on the link for that one, for the one from last week, and you can visit that card and see photos, the measurements, the supplies, a downloadable PDF that has kind of like some snippets of information on it. This week, we're going to have the information for the Submarine Life version of the card. So each post has information for one of the 2 different cards, but the combination of the 2 videos help to create the card. So you'll see part 1 in last week's post and part 2 is today. Hello from everybody, and I think it was Nancy who posted cows everybody today, or cows everyone, like how are you doing? But she used the word cows and it was really cute and made me laugh. Anyways, I hope you are all well and that you are going to have fun and stick with me the whole time. I have this fun fold card I learned from V-Trans. She's a demonstrator in my group. We're Stampin' Up! Demonstrators, and she's in my group. And she posted this really cute card last year around this time with the Queen Bee bundle, and I saw it and I was like, I gotta learn how to make that. Before I contacted her, I tried figuring it out because my brain likes to do that sort of thing. I like to look at something and figure out how to do it before I ask for help. I just, with crafts, with creative cards, I should say. So I did. I came up with my own version, and then I reached out to her, and I was wanting to see if I got it right. Her version's slightly different, just so you know. So there may be other types of patterns out there for this Hexagon platform pop-up card besides hers and mine. And I just wanted to share with you that this one, it might be different. Who knows? Someone else may have come up with it as well. Let me introduce you to the 2 different bundles that we are using for these cards. And can you see them? Here, let me angle it like that. And as you take a peek at these bundles, this is the Cutest Cow stamp set and punch. This is the Submarine stamp set and punch. They are both products that debuted early January. Anyways, I want to introduce you to 2 special people. These 2 special people are my moderators. One is on Facebook and one is on YouTube. They're here to answer questions. Trisha Josephs is on YouTube, so say hello to Trisha. And if you're on Facebook, say hello to Lisa Marshall. I love them. They are so special to me. They help me out big time every single week, so thank you, gals. And you can comment while we are live. You don't have to ask a question. Comments get you entered into prize drawings, so it's always good to say hello at least. And thank you so much for sharing last week. It was really fun to read through your comments. I enjoyed getting to know you more. Okay, what else do I want to mention before we get started? If this is your first, welcome. And please subscribe, like, follow, share, you guys. I would love it if you'd share these videos. Okay, let's move on to the supply list then. We're gonna, since you already saw what the cards looked like last week, we can introduce you to that supply list. So let's pull that in. There we go. Okay, so this is the Submarine Life version of the card. We're gonna put this one together today, and we're gonna put the Cutest Cows one together. You can see the name, you can see the date, the base measurements that you need, the supplies that I'm using, and photos. You can print these off if you'd like to, put them in a binder. That way you can always refer back to the title and the date to search for them on YouTube or on my blog post later on. This is my website, by the way. Oops, where is it? There we go. So you can search using keywords like that, you know, like big words. Hexagon would be a great word to search for. But yeah, so you can do that, or you can save them in your computer on your file, because these items, many of them, are clickable. Like if I clicked on trimmer, it would take you to shopping for that product in my online store. So it's also a great resource to use as a computer file. I'm going to go back to our desktop though. We're going to pull this. Actually, I'm going to leave that up there so I tell you the right measurements. Let's focus on the Submarine Life one now, okay? So Submarine Life, this is what we're going to put together. Super, super cute. And it folds like this, and it fits into our medium-sized envelopes. So yay, right? We did the parts and pieces for this last week. Let me pull those in so you can see them. We had, in our little hexagon tray here, we have our 6 little windows, porthole windows. Thank you for reminding me of that word last week. We have our porthole windows that we're going to stick around the side. We have our submarine, which has a back side to it to hold that little holographic foil paper in there for the windows. I forgot to insert these, so we'll definitely have to do that. Oh, here's our 6th window. And then we also have to add on our window sheet to this piece here, which you could back up if you want to with another piece of that white cardstock. I think it was 7/8 by 1 3/4. So we'll need to do that too. So we have a little bit of assembly left for the parts and pieces, but let's do the base. Let's grab our cardstock. We have our 8.5 by 11 cardstock, which we already trimmed down to, I believe, 7 inches wide in this direction. No, that's the wrong piece. That's a scrap. So why I'm doing 7 inches is because you want 2 of these 3.5 inch wide pieces. Let's put this back into the hex tray because we don't want to lose those. I'll just set those back in there for now. Okay, so we're going to do 2 pieces that are 3.5 inches wide by 9 inches tall. So 3.5 and 3.5 is 7. And because we have to put score marks in both of these, it's going to help us to just do them both at the same time. All right, so let's take and score. Oops, let's cut this first. So we wanted to do by 9, 3.5 by 9. So how is everyone today? I hope you're all doing well. It's really nice and sunny here in Andover, Minnesota, so I'm enjoying the sunshine coming through the window. Hopefully it's not affecting the glare on the window, or on my face, I should say. Okay, let me show you this first pattern. This is what we want to do to each piece. So this is 3.5 by 9, and we're going to score it 1.5, 3, 3 3/4, 5 1/4, 6, 7.5, and 8 1/4. This will be on my blog post today, so you'll be able to copy those. So let's go ahead and start scoring. 1.5, then we go to 3, 3 3/4. Again, so you don't have to memorize these. This will be an image of this will be on my blog. 3 3/4, 5 1/4, 6, 7.5, and 8 1/4. And we're going to do this again when we do the cows card. 8 1/4. Okay, now we're going to cut in half. So we're going to cut this in half at 3.5 inches. Because remember, it's 7 inches wide right now. We want 2 of these. So now we have 2 pieces. The score marks are in there. They might be a little, oh, there we go. If we angle them just right, you can see them. Now what we want to do is we want to put a couple cut marks. That's what the solid lines are for. And those cut marks are in 7/8 of an inch. So we go from here inward 7/8 of an inch, and we're going to cut from this score line to this score line. Okay, on both of those sides. So what we do is we line up this edge with the 7/8 inch mark over here, and we lay our cutting blade between this score mark and this score mark. And it's kind of dark paper here, so let me see if I can zoom in. Hopefully you can see a little bit better if I zoom in. Okay, so we're going to lay that blade down, and we're going to slice from score mark to score mark. Then we're going to lift up, we're going to flip it around, and we're going to do the same thing. Now I need to bring my trimmer down this way. And we're going to slice from that to that. Okay, so that's what that pattern means when you see 7/8 of an inch. That's your starting distance in from each edge. 7/8 of an inch in between those two score lines. Let's do that one more time. And I'm going to push this aside for a minute so I can see comments coming in. Sorry, you guys don't know what I'm doing in the background here, but I was having some visual issues on my computer. So we're going to cut between those two score lines, between the 1.5 and the 3-inch score line, okay? And in this direction, make sure it's between the same two score lines. Okay, we have that done. Now let's grab our second pattern that you're going to see. That is this one. Now this one is really confusing. Let me zoom out just a bit so you can see it. But this is how I'm going to explain it. There's numbers, little numbers that are circled and arrows next to each piece. So number 1, we're going to cut into this little point right here. So let me just demonstrate that. So let's take this piece. We're going to take our snips, and it's going right here. We're going to cut right along that score line into that side. So cut and cut. Okay, so now we've done that. That's number 1. Number 2 is cut cut up to from here to here. So let's do that. Cut up from here. Oh, and you know what? I'm going to recommend a long bladed scissors here. That way you make sure that you have a straight cut because you can aim it better. We're going to aim right to that little spot. So that's our second cut. Do that on each piece right now. So we're going to cut from here to here, from here to here, and then aim with a longer blade, or you could put this in your trimmer if you can line up everything, and that will give you a straight cut too if you don't have a long bladed scissors. Okay, these pieces are to be thrown out. We have our first 2 steps of that done. There's a lot of steps on here. Number 3 is you're going to fold here. Okay, so we're folding. And now it says, number 4, we're going to cut these little spots here. So when you look on this, you can see that, hang on a minute. I'm trying to hold it up. You know what? I'm going to put it down and zoom in. So when you fold that up, there, that works. Okay, when you fold that up, you're going to see that this angle is created here, and it's going to help us out. But first we need to cut into these little spots. You're going to cut here and here. Okay, so let's see if we do this right here. Make sure I'm telling you this right. I know it's a complicated one. Hang on. 3, fold here. Cut, 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 cut. Okay, hang on. 2 cuts, that cut goes in. Okay, so this cut is going to go to here, all the way to, why did I do that? Hang on, 3, 3, 3, 3. Fold here. I'm sweating, you guys. 3, and then 4 is this one. Cut straight in. Okay, we're going to cut straight in. We're cutting straight in to this, but that's weird because there's no guide there. Oh my gosh, Rachel, you've stumped yourself on live video here. Okay, hang on, because I've made these several times. 3, we're folding here. We're then cutting straight in. Cutting straight in. What the heck? Oh, I forgot to do this. Hang on. Cut and then draw line first. Cut and draw. Oh, cut. I did that. Can I start over? Oh my goodness sakes. Hang on. I can do this. I'm going to take this one out. I'm so embarrassed right now. This has to get I want to start over. I'm going to start this live over. 3, 4. I want to cut into there. 5, cut, fold here. That's so weird. Oh my gosh, Rachel. Can I start this over? Hang on. Maybe I cut. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm going too far up. That's why. I want to cut to here. Oh my gosh. Okay, I got it. I just had to calm myself down. So do you see how this is? You got to line up all your score lines. When I fold this up, number 4 is here. It's not up here. It's here. Okay, sorry about that. This is the 4th one. Hi. Welcome to my live. Okay, so do you see where this little point is here where it points in? So you want to cut up to that point. It's like, what the heck? I may have to do another one over here, you guys, or we might have to tape it. And can you see my hands are shaking? Thanks, Bonnie. Thanks, Karen. Thanks, Maureen. I was cutting up too far. Okay, so here we go. We cut into those little sides. I need to tape this. Hang on. And I want to make sure I tape the right side. I can tape this side, by the way. We're going to tape it right there. Okay. All right, so we cut into these 2 sides here. That's where the cuts go. And now number 5 is we want to cut from that corner down to where this goes. Thank you. Karen goes, you're cutting too far up. I was. Okay, so we're going to go from here down to here, following this edge. And you're going to do that on both sides. Oh my gosh, I've made this card so many times, but I have to tell you, I was a little frazzled because I was late getting on. And then I thought, oh, Rachel, you're so cool. You're all like calm and collected as the live is starting. This is great. It's going well. And for some reason, I didn't have my act together. Okay, so that is number 5, cutting down at those sides. And then number 6 is going to be, where's 6? 6 is fold here. So now we're going to fold this. And we're going to, let's see, 6 is fold here, 7 is fold here. So this is going to get folded back. This one is going to get folded up. Okay, and this is just basically helping you so that you don't have to worry about taking and making all these lines and measuring and all that kind of stuff. If you've seen me make mistakes, you guys know that this is complicated, but you can do it, and we're working through it. So I've got the 2 folds here. 6 is fold there, 7 is fold up, 8 is now cutting these little angle marks. So do you see this now? We're going to fold this down and we're going to use these angles laid across this little spot here to get that cut at an angle. Once you get the hang of this, and you've done 8 of them, because I've only done like 6, then you'll do fine. Okay, so now we've done that. We can open it back up, and there's that 8th cut. And number 9, we have 9 and 10. Number 9 is to take and fold here, and we can fold it in either direction. In fact, you're going to want your folds to go in both directions just to get your folds to be loosey-goosey, so you can go back and forth. Now we're folding here, and we're going to cut up to this point, like that. That little score line is there. So you're going to cut up to that point, and you can actually cut all the way through. Sorry, cut all the way through. That's easier. And then when you open it up, cut 10 is going to be this point to that point. Let's do that again, but let's go even faster. We can do it because we have another pattern. So let's take this out again. Ignore this one for now. We've got our stuff here. We are going to do cuts. All right, number 1, cut straight score lines in. We've done that. Number 2, we're going to cut up to there. We did that. Number 3, we're going to fold up, and then we're going to cut from the side to that score line. Okay, cut from the side to that score line. Here's that score line right there. Then we're going to cut at an angle, going down, and we're going to cut at an angle, going down. Okay, so that was number 3, 4, and 5. Good, we did that. Okay, number 6. We're going to, 6 disappears on me a lot. Fold this back, fold this up. Cut straight along there, cut straight along there. Okay, that was number 6 and number 7 and number 8. And then number 9 is to fold this down, cut across here, cut across here, open it up, and connect this point with that point. Okay, there we go. Let's trim out that little spot there. Ta-da! You guys want to do that one more time? Let's do it again. Here's our other paper. This is 7 by 9.5. Was it supposed to be 9.5? By 9. 7 by 9? 7 by 9. Okay, let's score at 1.5, 3, 3 3/4, 5 1/4, and we're doing this one right now because I want to show you that once you get in the pattern, you're going to be just fine. 6. Oh my goodness. 7.5. And 8 1/4. Cut it in half so you have 2 3.5 by 9-inch pieces. Bring this to the 7/8 inch mark right here on your trimmer. Oops, have it this way. And go from the 1.5 inch score line to the 3-inch score line with your blade, making a slit. Turn it around, do the same thing. Line it up at 7/8 inches there. And we're going to cut from that same score line to the other so that we have those slits in there. Do this one, same way. 7/8 inches, cut, 7/8 inches, and cut. All right, we have that done. So now let's get to those fun cuts that threw Rachel off. We can do this, we can do this. Okay, here we go. We're going to cut in, that's step number 1. Diagonally from the bottom corner to that spot, step number 2. Okay, same thing. Step 1. Step 2. Maybe what I'll do is I'll edit that part out of the video. Just kidding. It's live, it's real, that's the way life goes. All right, number 3, fold up, cut in from the side to aim towards that score. In from the side. So that's number 4. Number 5 is to cut diagonally along this path. Right there and right there. So that was steps 3, 4, and 5. Okay, let's do that on this one. 3, 4, and 5. Right now I'm thinking, Would this have been better pre-recorded? Number 5. Okay, now number 6. Fold here. So that's 6, folding on that score line. Number 7 is folding up this way. And number 8 is adding diagonal cuts. Number 8. So this is the base for the cows card, and we're just doing it now so that Rachel doesn't forget these cuts. Because it's live and she might get stumbled again. Okay, that's number 8. Open it back up. It's looking good so far. We just have to fine tune this area. Number 9 and 10 is all that's left. Number 9, we fold this down to get that angle to line up with these guys. And we cut in. Hang on, flatten it out, Rachel. Cut in. Cut in. Okay, so that's step 9. Cut in. And cut in. And step number 10 now is to cut off those little triangles. That's why I did not cut them all off in this pattern. So you can see that this is the way it ended up, and you just want to remove them. So you'll see that in the photo on my blog. So we're cutting from that score line into that point. And I'm going to bring this in a little bit more. There we go. So cut from that score line to that point, from that score line to that point. Okay, let's put these guys aside. Let's bring in the last pattern that you'll want to see. So there's 3 different patterns, and this one's a double-sided pattern. So you'll see 2 photographs of this one when you get to my blog post today. So it doesn't matter, because again, we're folding our cardstock in both directions so that it's very flexible and mobile. But do you see this? If this is going to be this side, we know that we're going to have adhesive up here. We know that this is going to be connected. This is going to have adhesive. This is going to be connected. So the parts where you see the kind of extra score or crosshatch, I should say, that means that that's where you can apply your adhesive. But this will get stuck down from something else. And then the yellow parts are what's going to be seen. So at this point is a good time for us to go ahead and add our designer paper. For our cows card, we're going to bring in, it's back here, our Meandering Meadows designer paper. And it is gorgeous stuff. Let me show that to you. It has lots of beautiful scenery, like watercolor painted scenery, little views on it. But the back sides of the paper are mostly kind of monochromatic-ish, right? So, I mean, there's a few designs in there, like that one, the clouds, these flowers. But a lot of them are great for underwater colors, like sea life. Almost too putrid of water, but I mean, still, you could, you could see that color underwater, right? So I went with the darkest one, and it's on the back side of the sheet that looks like this. And because this is not 12 by 12 cardstock, we need to trim up 2 pieces that are 6 inches long, 2 pieces that are 6 inches long. This piece is going to be, and now I need to bring up my pattern again on here, this piece needs to be just under 3/4 of an inch. So when we lay it into our trimmer like this, we're at the 3/4 inch mark, but we're just going to go shy, even less than a 1/16 of an inch. So you're not even going to the next mark, you're just pulling it back a little bit, and that will help that piece to, these strips I should say, because you're going to have 4 of them overall. That's going to help those strips to kind of situate better on top. Now if you have a pattern here, like we do on the cows card that I shared last week, you can try to line up the pattern, but it's going to be hard, which is why you want a tinier little pattern, right? Something that you're not going to have to notice too much of. So for that one, we used 12 by 12, and let me bring these guys out of the way. 12 by 12 cardstock. And from that pack, which is and I told you last week I was going to share this with you this week instead. This is our beautiful masterfully made paper. You can see the fun designs in that one. From that paper pack, and I don't think I have all of them. I think I'm missing, no, I do. Let's see here. Yep, they're all there. And then here's the back side. So from that one, this one would be great. And this one would be great for what we want. We want an aerial view with flowers on the cow's card. So let's grab that and make a 12-inch strip that is just under 3/4 of an inch. So now we have our strips for our cards. Oops, I accidentally cut that scrap. Okay, and I'm going to put these over here, so don't forget to use them. All right, let's take and start putting these guys on. So you can see that this is the seen area. This is the part that's seen. So I want to add my designer paper strip in that area. So I'm going to go ahead and use seal adhesive or multi-purpose liquid glue, whatever you're a fan of. That adhesive can be used here. And we're going to fold this up because we're going to jam that in there and then we're going to lay it down. And that's going to allow just a tiny fraction of an inch of room there so that that paper has the ability to sit directly in that spot. If you put it over the fold, then you might have some issues with it folding, okay? So, Angie, thank you. All right, so now we're going to trim off. And I went right to the corner. Did you see that? I went right to the corner with this because I don't want to waste any of this. We're going to use a lot of this, pretty much the whole strip of each. Okay, so now I've got that. And I put adhesive along the whole thing because if we flip this over, you can see that we have another strip right here. This is the other strip that is seen. So this is where we can lay this piece. And again, I'm going to fold this. I'm going to add this in. And I can add it in so that that corner is lining up with the corner that's already in there. Hang on. It's dark paper. Okay, there we go. So that's stuck on there, and then I can flip it over and trim off the excess. Let's do the same thing with the other one. So there's not a lot of wasted paper left over, if that makes sense. Let's do this one. And on this one, I want to show you my thinking of why I put the tape here. Because on this side it's seen, but on this side it is not. So this is the side I want to make sure that I use when I'm looking at this strip of paper up here. So we're going to jam that in there. We're going to trim off the excess on each side. Now our tape will disappear when the card gets put together. Okay, now flip it over, and this is where our other strip goes. And we'll turn it this way. No, we'll turn it this way. And we'll add that in there. That works. And we'll trim off the excess. Okie dokie. Now this area is seen and this area is seen, but that's only like, it's just viewable, okay? We don't have to put any pattern paper there. It's not gonna be on the top. This one is saying top, which means it's the top of the platform. This one says top, which means it's the top of the platform. This says it's the bottom or back or front when folded flat. And what does that mean? When you're looking at this card and you're popping this inside to put it in an envelope, that's this section right here. That's the part that's on the bottom that's seen, okay? All right, so now let's get some adhesive going. This is so much fun. It's coming together. So for the dark extra areas here, I'm going to use tear and tape adhesive, and we're going to add a couple strips through here and here And I could put another one in there if I want to, but I want to make sure that this panel is all going to connect. So I've done it there. This one's just a single line that says adhesive. On this side, you can see it's a double. It's going both directions, so I want a strip going across here. And then I want some strips going through here. And we're going to do that on each of the pieces. And I'm not really good at tearing this adhesive, you guys, so I'm going to trim it. Sorry, I gave up on the tearing. We want a couple pieces through here. Like that. And now you can see we have adhesive, our strip of designer paper, and on this side we have adhesive and our strip of designer paper based on this pattern. Let's grab this piece and do the same thing. Adhesive through here. And again, the areas where it says adhesive, but it's only kind of crosshatched in one direction or whatever, well, that wouldn't make it crosshatched, would it? It's only kind of scribbled out in one direction. That means that it's going to receive adhesive. So you don't have to put adhesive there. That's just too much. You don't need that much. And on this one, let's see, we put it at the top here, just on the strip. That's why it's a narrow little coloring of adhesive there. So that gets put here. And on the back side, we need to put it right across here and right here. We'll come back to this pattern when we do the cows card. We're ready to start putting together. So those are the patterns you're going to see on the blog post, and hopefully they help you. What I recommend is if you're going to make a bunch of these, that you actually make those 3 pieces yourself, and you can stick them away in a drawer for patterns to use later on. It's nice to have them visually in front of you as you go, okay? So let's start connecting. This is the top, and as we kind of bring this all together, it's going to make kind of an S look. All right, so we want these 2 pieces to go on top. They're going to connect like that. So you kind of have to loop this top one around and connect it here first. So let's go ahead and peel off the backing. And on the pattern, if we pull that back in, you're going to see what I mean there about the adhesive is received here. It's going to connect right in this little spot here, and we don't have adhesive all the way across that because in your card you need to be able to tuck in pieces. So if I open this up, you can see that there's not adhesive all the way through. Like, we're able to pull these parts open to tuck things into. So we want it to be able to tuck. So we're going to fold this flat down and connect. It's all flat. That part was tucked under and in, and now we have the platform portion of half of our card coming together. Do you see how that looks? Isn't that cool? So it's half of a hexagon right now, and we have a gap so that we can tuck pieces in there. Now we need to connect this piece to the bottom. And when we look at this pattern again, we flip this over, here's where that adhesive gets brought together with that one. So you don't put adhesive here because it's just going to get stuck down again to that spot. So let's peel this off on both strips. And this one you want the adhesive across the whole section. We're going to flatten that down. We're going to bring this together and flatten it down so that they connect to each other. When you pop it up, you have the bottom of the hexagon and you have the top. Okay, these are our 2 pieces. Let's bring these 2 together. So again, we're going to make an S. We're going to connect this piece with this piece to form the top of our platform. You kind of have to get your folds going too. A bone folder tool comes in really handy to make sure that those creases are good and crisp. I didn't do that on the other one, sorry about that. But that always makes it a little bit easier to work with your parts and pieces. Okay, so let's connect these 2. Let's peel off the backing, bring this one down to the other one. did it in a different way, but as long as you're flattening it out to connect those two pieces, you're good to go. Let's do the same thing with this one. Let's flatten this down, peel off the backing, and connect. Now, we have these two sections, oopsie, these two sections that need to come together. So I didn't write that on the pattern, but you're going to put adhesive right through here. I don't think I wrote it on the pattern. Don't think I did. Oh yeah, I did, right here. So you are going to have adhesive bringing these two together, but it's kind of obvious when you get to this point. So you don't have to worry about looking at the pattern from this point on, right? We're going to put adhesive along the bottom portion here and connect these. And it can go up about halfway, or if you want it to be a little bit closer to the bottom, that's fine. Then you can really insert some long, deep pieces in there. But we're going to connect those together. Let's first bring our, and where is it? That's why I have this extra piece, because we need to form, here's our trimmer, we need to form our wrap that goes around the card. So with this extra piece of Night of Navy, we're going to cut it to 1 3/4 inches in that direction, and then we're going to score it. I'm sorry, hang on. Yep, 1 3/4 by 11, and then we're going to score it at 1 3/4 inches. This is like our first one that we did in the video last week. We did this with the gold foil paper because our gold foil paper, believe it or not, is the wrap that we used for that card. So 1 3/4, then we score, and I went through these again last week. We have the one for the other card already done. 3 1/2, 5 1/4. So these are getting scored every other, they're forming squares that are 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. 7 inches, and those measurements are pretty clear in the post too. 8 3/4, oops, almost scored in the wrong spot. And then 10 1/2. And that little 1/2 inch on the end is going to be our connecting spot right here. So let's get these put together. I need more tables. I'm just kidding. Just for this project I do. How many of you guys need more tables? What is something that you wish you had in your craft room that you just absolutely have next to buy? Okay, so you see this? It connects and goes like that. All right? So let's push one of these into it. Because this is overlapping here, that I want to have in the back of my card. So this is going to be the front, and I can pick either one of these pieces, and I want to push this into there. So this is the next spot, the next step. You're going to take the backings off here. And you're going to bring this in. And as you bring this in, it's not really connecting quite yet because you have, a little bit of gappage in there anyways. But you're able to then bring these two sides in to help hug it. And that's why we haven't connected both of them yet. So you're bringing the two sides in, you're helping to hug it. It's staying close to the ground so that the bottom edge of the strip that goes around is lining up with the bottom of your hexagon portion of your card. So now that we've done that, we can come in and we can push down and press and make sure that that adhesive is bonding there. Let's bring these two together. That's the next step. So we're going to take off the adhesive, release paper, the release paper. You should see how much release paper is all over this table now. Okay, bring these two sides to help hug this in, and we're going to connect it all together, keeping it flat on your table. Hug, hug, hug. You're giving it all a good hug, and now that you know that it's there, you can take and open it up and press it into place and flatten everything together to help get that adhesive to bond. Ooh, it's coming together. Okay, last, we're going to take the backings off here and here. We also have one more strip of tear and tape that we need to put on here. But right now, we're going to bring these together. We're going to wrap, keep everything flat, and this one's going to come around as tight as possible and wrap, and this one is going to go on top of it. Actually, I think that was going to go underneath it. Okay, we made another mistake. It's okay. We can pull that away. So that's going to go underneath here like that. And the last bit of tear and tape should have been on there. Sorry. We'll do better on the second one. That's why we're doing two of them. That is the reason we're doing two of them today. So let's put that in here, which we should do before we actually wrap the whole thing. Peel this off and bring it together. And now you can see it's forming that card. It's flattening into a hexagon shape. This is the way it's going to flatten into a hexagon shape inside your card. Ta-da! Let's start adding those pieces. Let's bring them in, and then we'll work on assembling the cows. We have our fun coral that is the large piece. Where is my, here it is. I'm going to use my glue, my Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue, which I have in this cute little egg holder from the Country Hive. I've transferred that glue into this precision tip bottle, and I'm just going to put a little bit on either one side or the other, or both. But you know what? Check first. Make sure that you know that it will work. So when you've tucked your piece in, because this is a good tip to know for future cards if you're going to design your own, you want to tuck your piece in. Now notice that it goes beyond the edges here. That's going to be okay, because when you push this down, the side edges here widen out and make room for it. So it's okay that right now this piece looks like it's hanging over the edge. Do you see that? Looks like it's hanging over the edge. It's going to be okay. Again, you test it out. You also test it out with your envelope. So you bring your envelope in and you lay it down and you say, is this going to fit inside my envelope? And it is. So yay for that. Okay, so we know that we can go about that far in. I'm just going to mark that with my fingers, and I'm going to add my glue. And again, you can put glue on both sides. Sorry, I should get that cup there and put a wet paper towel on the bottom so that this is ready to roll each time I want to use it. A tip that was shared with me after I shared a tips video, and I should have known this, but I did not know yet. We don't know everything. We learn from each other, you guys. I love your ideas that you share with me. Okay, so we have that glued up about that far. Now we're going to push it upward. We're going to open up this little slit back here, and we're going to tuck it down in there like that. Okay, yay, it's inside, and you can test it again. And if you have to, you can adjust it because glue doesn't dry right away, but that looks perfect to me. Let's take our submarine and finish it up. We need our scope, and we're just going to take our scissors, our paper snips. Because I'm not somebody that glues all the way to my edge, I can open up those two little panels up there. And so I'm going to keep my scissors in there. I'm going to get my scope out. I'm going to grab my precision tip bottle, and I'm going to add just a little bit of glue right to the base of that scope, right there. We're doing a lot of focusing, aren't we? My video screen is acting kind of funky today. I think it's my glass mat, you guys. I'm sorry. Okay, we're going to press that in there like that. And now we're going to open up the back side. And you know what? This is probably easier to put these things on now than it would have been to put them on earlier. Okay, so we've got that in there. Let's take our, here it is, our propeller, and put a little adhesive there. Stampin' Up! Did not give us a lot of leeway on these two little pieces, but that's okay. We're adding that in like that, clamping that down. And now we can add this into our card. But let's test it, because every section, every little indentation on this card has a different depth when the card is folded flat. I can actually put a higher piece in the middle because it's going to dip down lower when I fold it flat. When I push it this way to tuck it in, you can see that that part is going deeper into the card. So this one, if I insert it, can sit higher than the green, but not higher when it's flat, because the green is probably about as high as it can go. So I've kind of evened it out with the green. That's lemon lime twist, by the way. And when I open it up, you can see that the Submarine is sitting higher. I'm going to hold my finger there, pull it out, and I have about a 1/2 of an inch, maybe 5/8 of an inch where I can add some adhesive. You don't need to put on both sides, just one side is fine, but you can do both sides if you want. We're going to open this up by pushing upward now. Open this up and stick it down in there. Test it out, push it down flat, test with your envelope. You want to have your envelope nearby the whole time, okay? Oh, I'm glad you're loving this, you guys. Yay. All right, so there's our Submarine portion of the card. And then, you know, I'm going to shift it over a bit. I can because I'm using seal adhesive. Yay. Press, press, press. Okay, now my last couple pieces are in the front. This one I forgot to put my seal onto, or my window sheet onto my little message here. There we go, because we want this to kind of look like it's floating too. So now I'm going to tuck that one into this space, and it can be as high as the green or it can be lower, and I want it to be a little bit lower because I don't want it to block the Submarine, and right now it is. So I can take it out, I can trim it up a bit, I can stick it back down in, and that's a little bit better. I'm going to trim it even a little bit more. I think I gave you that dimension because I imagined you going all the way up to the top here with the window sheet. Either way, it's kind of trial and error with what you put inside the levels of your card. And that looks good. Right, you guys, those of you that have made these before, you just have to keep going in with your piece, pulling it out when you know it's in the right spot, you know, kind of manipulating back and forth to make sure everything works. So that's set in there, and then I just have these two other little pieces to stick in there. And I made sure that they were in there behind the sign. So I took the glue and put it on the back side instead. And I'm just going to slide that in like that. And slide this one in on the other side. And you want to make sure it's not covering up your words, which is why I have that one, the tall one, on the back side. But this one here, I can have come in from the front and kind of overlap. All right, last is to put our little circles on. And for that, I'm just going to put my seal adhesive, and I could be more accurate about this and use glue, go all the way around the edges of my circles, but we are going to whip this together because we want to assemble that cute cows card too. Trisha and Lisa, I'm going over time. I am so sorry. If you have to leave, I'll get it. I'll understand. Now this is the big guy. He's going to go in the back. So we're going to flip our card over. We're going to stick him back here. And then in the front, we're going to put our little tiny our little tiny fish that are going in a school. They're swimming in their school, okay? And the rest of these guys look kind of the same size-ish, you know? These guys are, you know, they don't have the goggles on or whatever, but it's fine. They can still kind of balance out the side edges the same way because of the size of the image, right? That's what I'm looking at, is the size of the image. I liked these two towards the front because they were my favorites. And then on the back, we are going to put these guys swimming that way towards the other school of fish saying hello. And this one like that. He's cute too. They're all cute. They're all stinking cute. Okay, that's how you put together your Hexagon platform pop-up card for the Submarine Life one. For the, where did it go? For the cows one, this one here, we're going to grab those pieces, and they are right here. And we have all of our pieces put together from last week. We have our strip already done. Let's bring that pattern back in that shows us where to put our designer paper and our adhesive. So if this is the side that we're looking at right now, I'm going to fold these just to get them going. We're going to add our designer paper in that spot. Let's put a length of seal adhesive all the way through. And that's going to get added right in this little groove, like so. And I'm being careful to make sure that I can go right up to that edge, but not beyond the edge, because I do not want to have any wasted designer paper on this. We use up most of it, most if not all of it. Okay, trim that off. Trim this off. Okay, and that should be able to get enveloped in there, right? It's in a good spot. Let's do the same thing with this side over here. Just going to fold those parts up, and we're going to get this right in this little strip area here. Oops. Let's do that again. Okay, so that's in that spot. Looks good. Trim that up. I went right up to the edge, you guys. We did not even have any overlap. That's pretty accurate. Okay, flip it over. And now we want one here and here. So let's fold up those spots. We're folding them up so that we can get this in there. We can fit these in so that there's no overlap onto the score. Wow, Rachel, you're getting right up to the edge. That's crazy. I thought it would go over or be under a little bit. Only made that mistake once so far. Pretty good. Actually, you know what? We're going to trim that side. It's a little beyond. Okay, and then this last one is going to go right in here. Ta-da! And we can still fold onto it. Good. Yay. So nothing extended beyond the folds. Okay, next is adhesive. Adhesive gets put here and here, here and here. We'll do that really quick. 1, 2, 3. And if you recall, these two sections are on the outer part that connects the strip that wraps around. Flip it over, and now we want adhesive here and here, and we want it kind of going on both sides. We want that whole thing to be covered with adhesive. You could do multi-purpose here if you want to. I just find that it was messier when it came to this card, because this card, you manipulate this piece, these two panels I should say, you manipulate them a lot. You move them around a lot when you're working with them. So we have our adhesive there, and we need one going across there, but not the whole panel, just the outermost section of that panel. So that goes there, and we'll do the same thing to this one. So we're adding up here. And then we're also adding through there. Okay. Cute cards for kids, cute cards for adults too. Just, you know, when you send an interactive card to somebody, they can be entertained for a long time at that party or event. Interactive cards are just so enjoyable. They bring joy. All right, let's use the bone folder, and let's kind of get everything moving here into a direction. You can score in both directions first. Let's just do that. And then we'll score in the other direction. And that way your card piece will maneuver in either direction for you, which is kind of what you want. You want that flexibility. Okay, so we have a movable piece. You're going to connect these two right there. Peel this away, flatten it down, bring this to it like that, or you can take and bring this whole piece down like that and bring it over, which is what I think I showed you the first time. Okay, let's do the same thing here. Getting all those score lines to be flexible. Go the other direction. Once you get the hang of this card too, you'll know where, to score in which direction the most intensely. So here, we want to have this piece connecting with that piece. There's your S, there's your S. The other side was kind of a Z or a 2. Okay, so now we go like this to that, right? So peel this off. Keep this folded flat down. Bring this whole section right up to meet that paper. Now we're going to flip it over and we're going to connect the bottom to this area where there's adhesive up here. So let's peel the backings off. Fold this flat onto that piece. Peel the backings off. Fold this flat onto that piece. Pop it up. There's our two pieces. It's coming together quickly now, right? See, you do 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 8, and pretty soon you're good at it. Okay, next, this piece. So this is the one that wraps around. We've already got it ready to go. Just emphasize those creases because they're not really folded very strong. There we go. And then we're going to connect in the back. So if you picture where it all wraps together here, okay, this is the back, this is my front piece. So I'm going to peel off my adhesive on this first, or my backings, not your adhesive, I keep saying that, your backings for your adhesive, and that's going to get brought into this little shell here, and the sides are going to wrap around, kind of give it a hug, make sure everything's down on the inside and lined up on the bottom. Okay, you want that flat to the bottom. That's why you're using this table surface. After you've done that, you open it up and you flatten it all down so you can really press that tape in place. Next, we're going to connect these two together. So let's put some adhesive here, and let's not forget about that little strip. So take our tear and tape, and remember, we don't want to go up all the way on that adhesive. We only want to have it connected towards the bottom. I'm just going to put a couple there. Okay, we have that there, and then we need a strip along the side, and it's actually going to connect. It's going to overlap here, so I think I'm going to put on this side here. It's going to be easier. It's going to be on this portion here, the first square. All right, so next, peel off the release paper, prop it up, set it all down on your hard surface again, bring these together, pull this guy in, give it a hug. We don't have the release paper off of here yet, and we're going to hug it real tight. And now that we know that these two are kissing each other or connected, we can flatten the whole thing down and really press to make sure that that tape there got bonded. Okay, next we're going to connect this part to all of this. This one is going to get overlapped by that one. So let's bring this one onto that first, shall we? All right, peel the release paper off. And hug. And now we can pull this release paper off. and wrap and hug. There, ta-da! All right, next we have cow bodies. We're going to insert them. We're going to put these cows together. We have our sentiment that goes on the front. We have this little bullhorn here, the milk jug, the little milk can. I think I called it a crate last week, and I did not mean to. It's not a milk crate, it's a milk can. And then we want the tails turned away. We're going to form a hill. We're going to create a little hill with our two cow bodies that were punched from the pretty peacock. So we're going to kind of like overlap them like this. Put a little glue in between. Overlap them like that. So they're kind of tilted. Tilt them a little bit more. And now we're going to insert that cow into this space, or the double cows into this space. And that's how we form the hill. Fun, right? All right, so let's tape those in there, or glue them. I'm going to glue them this time. All of this is going to get covered up. Push this up, peel this open, prop it in there. There's our hill. That's what the cow is going to stand on. We have our cow. So you got to kind of figure out, where is the cow connecting to all of this. I'm going to have its feet situated on this hill so that one is kind of tucked behind. See that? It's going on the back side there. So that's the one I'm going to put adhesive on either side of, and then I want adhesive on the back side of these two for sure. Not a lot of connection there, but it's enough. We're going to open this up a bit, stick that one foot down in there. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. Let's flatten it down. So stick that one foot in there, and then these 2 feet are going to get connected to the hill. Like that. Then we've got the head of the cow, and the head of the cow is just going to get added with glue. We have a little spot here for the head to go on. I did already test this to make sure it would fit in my card here, but you can adjust the depth of the head if you're worried about it. See, my head is a little low here. I can bring it up a little bit higher. And then I need to have room for the little halo because it's a holy cow. So here's our gold. We're going to put just a touch of adhesive here and here. Gotta love the strength of multi-purpose liquid glue. And we're going to pop our card flat this way. We're going to look at our other card to see where we did. Yep, we're going to put it right here. So we're going to flatten this down. Right. Oopsie. Right like that. So that when it comes off of our table, which now has stickies on it, sorry about that. I have to wipe off my glass table. Anyways, it looks like a little halo going around the cow's head. Oh, I'm glad you like the hill. Thanks, Angie. All right, and then we have a couple other things to fit in there. We have our cedar, our laying down, or whatever you want to call it. Our cow that's relaxed. So we'll put a little adhesive here on this little section. We'll open this up, stick it down in there, and that's where that cow is going to sit. We need a head on that cow. And that cow's winking because he thinks the joke is funny too. Holy cow, or she thinks. She thinks, right? Cows are females. Okay, we've got that, and then we've got our milk can. And that's going to go in here. And we can adjust that. And then we just need our little sentiment on the front. And we're going to pop that on with dimensionals. And I think I'll use my regular size dimensionals. So I'm going to stick one in the middle and one off to the right. Yes, we might as well flatten the card down while we put these on. peel off the release paper, and we can just stick that going across. And I'm putting it across like that so that I see about 1/4 of an inch. Let me introduce to you the finished cards. Da 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 da! So we have all of these finished cards. Yay! I'm going to prop them up so you can see them too. And then we also have a couple other cards. Remember, these are the cards that I first shared on my blog back a year ago. These are the ones done with the taco stamp set. And this was the one using my pattern. This is the one using V's pattern. It is slightly different. This one's a little bit wider. So just so you know, you have choices out there. Then this is the card that was shared with me by Teresa Buckmaster. Thank you, Teresa, for reaching out to me. I'm just gonna get this going here. So she did it with the Layering Leaves stamp set. Now, where do you sign a card like this? Oh, and this is Lazy Days. The birds are from Lazy Days. Where do you sign a card like this? Well, on a white card base, it's pretty easy. You can sign it here, or you can just insert a panel into the envelope that has your sentiment on it. You don't have to actually sign on the card, right? You don't have to. But if you at least put your name at the bottom of the card, which is what I'm going to now do with Teresa's name, you will remember who made that card for you, because I was so lost. Thank you for all of you trying to help me solve the mystery of who gave me that beautiful card about a half a year ago. Thank you, Teresa, for that card. I've been showing you the hex trays, the magnetic hex trays. These are from the Country Hive. If you're interested in getting magnetic hex trays, they're great for holding tiny objects. They're great for holding your dies because they're magnetic, so you can, you know, keep your small dies kind of protected and in place on your work surface. They also have this really cool adhesive caddy that I use all the time. You guys just don't see it, but you have your seal that can go in here, your glue dots, your Tombow glue, your scissors or bone folder, take your pick tool, your dimensionals, your tear and tape. It's a pretty awesome little caddy, okay? So I use it for that. And then they've also got seasonal, these little cute holders. They're like limited edition holders for your Tombow glue if you like to have that kind of thing nearby. We are nearing the end of February, and that means the end of celebration. So if you're interested in purchasing any of these products to make these cards or other fabulous projects, you can visit, let's see if I'm going to click the right thing. You can visit my website at stampyourartout.com, and you can click the shop button, and that will get you to the store to see all these things. Otherwise, my blog post has already gone live. I need to re-edit it to make sure we put winners in there, but right now the blog post is live. You should be able to click on the link and see photos of the finished cards from both this week and last week. And I will transfer that link information, all of that information that's on the YouTube video right now, over to the Facebook recorded video in just a second. Team member, somebody from my team, will you let them know that I am again going to be a little late for our live, which was supposed to start a minute ago. But it's prize time. It's prize time. So let's get our cute little hexagon cards out of the way. And we're going to bring in prizes. From last week, we had choices. And I am going to pull that up on my computer, you guys. Let me just take this off of here for now. And I'm going to pull that out so that we can refer to that, because I don't want to make another mistake. I don't want to sweat again, you guys. Okay, so last week we had prizes that were choices, okay? And I'll lay those out so you can see them. If you are one of the names that I draw, or that I already drew right before this live went, if you're one of those names and I call you out, you get to pick from one of these 4 pieces. The people who were drawn last week for those prizes, there's one other person left, Yvette Smith, because I think we had 5 choices last week. Yvette Smith, I haven't heard from you. You were the During Live winner last week. If you live out of the US, I can still give you a different kind of a prize, by the way, so don't worry about not getting product prizes. if you live outside the US. Okay, so let me put these on the tabletop here for you to see. And Yvette, this is what you have to choose from. Also, and now I'm going to get my computer ready so we can call out our After Live winners from last week's video. After Live winners are Senior Scrapper, and he or she posted on YouTube after the live was done. And then we also have Donna Lathrop. My email address, reach out to me there, please. stampyourartout@comcast.net to claim your prize. Congratulations to both of you. Yay. And now I'm going to bring you back to my desktop so you can see the prizes for this week. It's actually going to be including something extra. And I went through my craft room and I have a lot of extras. And I'll tell you what they are. Cards from past lives. I have projects that are like exclusives from past tutorials. I have rolls of ribbon and other embellishments, things like that. Maybe even stamp sets. So your prize will include something bonus, and it will include a sampling of online exclusives. These two are new. You can't purchase them yet. This is a new glimmer paper, and these are new sequins. And then this paper here is our, I forget the name of it, translucent floral. It goes with the translucent floral stuff, and it's gorgeous paper. So the 4 winners, the 2 lives today, and then the 2 after live winners for next week, when we draw them next week, you'll each get a 1/4 of all of this. So you'll get a sampler of online exclusives, and you'll get some surprise item in your prize. The winners are, yay, timing was awesome on that, Linda Rivera and Melody Miller. Thank you so much, Trisha, for sticking with me through this extra long live. Oh, bless your heart. So those 2 people are our winners this week on the live prize. Make sure that you reach out to me. Yes, a big congratulations to those winners. Oh, thanks, Michelle. Highlighting some comments here as we go. It was fun. It was fun. The paper is gorgeous. Yes, I agree. Congrats. Paper's gorgeous. Yay. Okay, I'll take your comments off there. But everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with me that last week and this week and checking out how to make my version of the Hexagon platform pop-up cards. I hope that you go and create and create and create. If you're not on Facebook, you can visit me at my page, but also I have a group on Facebook, and I love, love, love it when people post their creations based on videos that they've seen me do. I would love to see your versions of the Hexagon platform pop-up cards that you create. If you've created one with another pattern, show it. You don't have to recreate another one. Just show me what you've created. I love that group. It's very fun to share in that group. If you are not watching me on YouTube, it's very easy to do. You don't need a membership to be watching on YouTube, but I guess you need a Google account to comment. But anybody can watch on YouTube. I invite you to be a part of our YouTube lives. It's been fun. Thank you, you guys. This has been a really great day. Extra long, but you stuck with me. Remember that the blog post right now that is listed and linked in the description of my YouTube video, again, it's going to get transferred to the Facebook, is now live. So you can click there, you can get the PDF. It will link back to last week's blog where you can get last week's PDF. The videos have landed there. Thanks, everyone. I hope you had a great time. And we'll see you next week on February 28th, which will be just like a day before celebration is done. And I have fun things planned, you guys. You need to come back. 11 a.m. Central Time. We'll see you next week. Now, in the meantime, I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.